Good day and welcome to Predators Proclivity, where we look at data from the season for the Nashville Predators and make comments upon it. I'm your host, Preston Proctor. No, the Predators are still not in the playoffs, but hey, we're still talking here. And I guess we'll, as far as news goes for the Predators, let's just kind of wrap that up. So Finland got the gold medal at the World Championships, and Annunen was in goal. So he made 22 saves in the final game. The MVP of the tournament was Roman Josi. So two Predators making names at the World Championships. Good for them. There has been no news that I can see, that I can tell, of somebody replacing Barry Trotz as GM. So not sure what to think there. And then as far as free agents go, the free agent season is, I guess, pretty much starts July 1st. So coming up soon, we'll start getting a little funniness with regards to free agents, especially the unrestricted free agents, reminding people. So that's 26, 27. Okay, so the stuff has already kind of moved forward here. Should make it easier. Unrestricted free agents to be, for the Preds, to be determined at the beginning of July or before. We've got Erik Haula and Tyson Jost. Erik Haula and Tyson Jost, Haula being 35, Tyson Jost 26. That's our forwards. And boy, I tell you what, it'd been nice to see I still had the, still had the monies up for those guys. That would have been something. I think 3.5 for Haula, 2.5 for Tyson, something along those lines. This is me being prepared. 3.1 for Haula and just 775. So Tyson Jost still has an entry-level contract. And we saw what happened last season when Evangelista went from his entry-level contract to $3 million a year. And so probably something like that if they decide to hold on to Tyson. Tyson doesn't have the numbers that Evangelista has, but the cap numbers going up means, everybody's salary goes up. So equivalencies from year to year, not really there. Teams do try to take into consideration what current players are making, so you wouldn't want Evangelista to feel bad about it only taking home $3 million by giving Tyson $3 million, so I wouldn't expect him to make $3 million. Looking at the defensive side of things, the only unrestricted free agent that's listed with the regular club, with the NHL club, is Kevin Gravel, who doesn't play for Nashville. His contract is with Nashville, but he's been playing with Milwaukee. He was the captain with Milwaukee this last year. I thought I had heard he got an extension. Apparently not. He's an unrestricted free agent. And then Justin Barron also, he'll be a restricted free agent, which means that they just need to make a qualifying offer. Kevin Gravel does have an entry-level contract, $775. He's 34, and there's no reason not to expect him to sign him. But we'll see. We will see how that plays out. He's been a good player and no reason not to keep him around. As far as Justin Barron goes, his previous contract, $1.15 million. The qualifying offer is listed at $1.2. So if they want to keep that defenseman around, then that's what they'll have to do there. The Preds do have plenty of cap room. That is not an issue. Nashville, $76 million. is what they're currently paying out, which their current space is $27 million. So Nashville is not in any danger right now, anyway, of exceeding the cap with the players that they have. Now, if they decide to go get someone else, then everything kind of becomes something of a mess. And there's some good players out there. We'll get to that in a minute. The goaltenders are wrapped up. Anunen just got another contract. He's got 2 more years on his contract. Saros is good through the next millennia. He's 31. He's got 5 more years on his contract. Then continuing to look here, we're still paying Kyle Turris for 2 more years, $2 million. Or maybe that's the buyout, but it's buyout going against the cap. And then Matt Duchene is still going against the cap at $1.5 million basically for the next 3 years. And then we get to non-roster players, which are the ones that are playing for the minor leagues. There are 3 forwards who are restricted free agents, so nothing to worry about there. Massimo Rizzo, Ryden Rolston, and Dalton Bancroft. We'll again see how that goes. A couple of players that the Preds did pick up along the way. I think last year, Andreas Englund and Jordan Osterley, defensemen. Osterley contract $775, and he's 33. And then also, come on, work with me. Andreas Englund, $775. He's 30. And so those guys also unrestricted free agents. Jack Mattier and Christopher Setoff, restricted free agents. We just got Setoff in a trade, so I expect they'll sign him. And then non-roster goaltenders, Matthew Murray has 1 more year on his contract. Magnus Krona, 25, is an unrestricted Group 6 at the end of this year. Both of those playing in Milwaukee. Let's clean this up a little bit. Get our browser to work a little faster. Magnus Krona, entry-level contract. His qualifying offer is $813, so I don't really see that being a problem. I think he's played pretty well. And then, let's see, what have they got? Non-reserve. And so I think that's it for the Preds as far as unrestricted free agents go for their team. So nothing looks all that scary. It all kind of depends on where the Preds want to go. I don't see, I don't know. I guess you can 25, 24, 24, the forwards, the young forwards. I think Ryder Rolston had a good season. I think Massimo Rizzo got called out for doing really well. Jordan Osterley and Andreas Englund have come up and played for the Preds. And then, like I said, Setoff, they just got. So the question really comes down to whether or not the Preds want to keep Erik Haula, I think. Tyson Jost is 28. Erik Haula, again, what was that, $3.1 million? And do they want to keep him or move on? I think that is probably the biggest question for the Preds. Everybody else, kind of, I guess, minor league players. So, who do you think's going to work out there? As far as unrestricted free agents that the Preds might want to look at, it would be nice if they showed the ages here. Viktor Arvidsson is an unrestricted free agent, familiar with the Preds team. The Preds. So not sure if they would really want to go back. He's 33, $4 million. Again, the Preds have plenty of space. So, are they reasonably going to be interested in Alex Ovechkin? Probably not. He's 40. Darren Radish, considered to be the top unrestricted free agent. He's down in Tampa Bay. That, frankly, they got him at $975. We seem to be moving Tampa Bay north. Darren Radish might be somebody that that winds up here. For some reason I thought he started the season somewhere else. Not sure if I can. No, it looks like he's been at Tampa Bay for 5 years. I really don't see why they wouldn't sign him back. I don't know. They got him listed as a top unrestricted free agent. I think. I guess the only issue would be if Tampa Bay doesn't have a lot of cap room because they got $13 million. Not sure whatever else they have to do. I'm not sure that that's something that really need to worry about. Alex Tuch out of Buffalo, Ovechkin, Anthony Mantha out of Pittsburgh, John Carlson with the Ducks, Patrick Kane, 37. Don't see that. Max Zuccarello, 38 with Minnesota. Claude Giroux, all of these players. Vladimir Tarasenko, already have one of his jerseys. That'd be nice, but he's 34. Been a good player kind of around $4.7 million, which might put it into a little kind of a difficult space with the Preds, depending on how they want to look at it, because they only currently have 3 forwards that make more than that. Jonathan Marchessault, Stamkos, and Forsberg, 5.5, 8, and 8.5 respectively. So bringing in Tarasenko, probably having to pay him at least 5. I don't know. I don't know if that really makes that much sense. And then kind of scrolling down, Andrei Kopitar, how's he I guess technically he's an unrestricted free agent. And then number 17 on the list is Erik Haula with the Preds, $3.1 million. So of the older players, probably, older players would be, would I consider Anthony Mantha, 31. Wouldn't consider 30 to be that old. 31, probably not. But it looks like we can draw a line at 34. You're either 34 and above or 31 and under, apparently. Well, here's a guy at 32 with Columbus. Boone Jenner. No idea about this guy. Never heard about him. Corey Perry, 41. I don't think he's going to be. Jamie Benn at 36. Not so much. So I don't know. Maybe Tarasenko. Darren Radish is with the Lightning. I expect them to sign him. I don't know why they wouldn't. And so then Brent Burns, also 41. Wow, good for him. Been around. Jakob Trouba with the Ducks at 32, $8 million. That's probably a little bit than Michael Bunting. But we traded him. He's an unrestricted free agent. Maybe they go back and get him back. Not sure. So not really seeing a lot here myself that I think they would necessarily find interesting, but you just never know. You never know. They did make a couple of really big trades, so I think going for big-name players would be a problem. I think that would be a bad idea. Vinny Hinostroza. $775. 32 might be a nice pickup. Michael McCarron, 31. Kasperi Kapanen, or Kapanen. Somebody down in that range, probably good for the Preds. Then we get to Tyson Yost, Nick Foligno. Oh, he's 38, though. I think I wouldn't pick up anybody over 34. I don't think the Preds need something like that. I think if they can pick up somebody in their mid to late 20s, like Jeremy Lauzon, that they can augment. Yeah, probably. I mean, just kind of looking at this list, probably Eric Holla, probably not going to get re-signed by the Preds. They'll probably try to make a couple of roster changes. Maybe bring somebody up from Minneapolis, and then get people that they think can be maybe two-way players between Minneapolis and Nashville. It seems like the core of the group is pretty set. And of course, you never know. You never know. We don't have a general manager yet, and so depending on who they might bring in, a little bit of rumors about the person being somebody with Colorado, and kind of makes sense with the Preds not making any roster moves or any announcements at all. They haven't even interviewed anybody, as far as I know, in a while. That most likely the person that they're going for is still involved at the playoffs in one way or another. So, all right. Well, that takes us quite a bit, so we're going to have a couple of commercials here real quick. I'll just pause for now, and we'll get back to it. Right, so that went a little longer than I thought, but let me just tell you about a couple of things here. So, Cozy Earth, my promo code PredsPro is now worth 30%. That just got bumped up. So 30% any day of the year, and not just Mother's Day, but actually 30% now would be better than what they had for Mother's Day. The previous discount was 21, but they bumped it up to 30. And there you go. So 30% off with Preds Pro at CozyEarth.com. Quantum Energy Squares, big fan. We're big fans of them here in the Proctor household. Prudence and I have a podcast that we do. We had to travel over the weekend to Vegas for the for that podcast, and Quantum Energy Squares made the trip with us, and we really needed to take advantage of that. We're out in the Vegas heat for 2 days, looking at homes, and boy, that was a little on the tough side. But we had our Quantum Energy Squares, so we had 100 milligrams of caffeine, 10 grams of protein, no junk. Got us through the day. QuantumSquares.com. Preds Pro gets you 25% off every day of the week, every day of the month, every day of the year, even leap day. Well, so there you go. That is that. What did we do? Well, we are finally at the Stanley Cup Finals. Just got back in town late last night. Sorry, I got up this morning, did the analysis that I could do, and now here I am in the studio. So I think I've done a pretty decent job. But before we get to that, let's talk about. Oh gosh, I'm trying. What is it? Bruno. Let's talk about Bruno. All right. So how did I do in round 3? Well, just a quick recap. Round 1, I think I got 5 out of. I had Carolina. I had Philadelphia. I had Carolina, which was right. I had Pittsburgh, which was wrong. I had Buffalo and Montreal. I had Colorado. I was wishy-washy on Dallas, Minnesota. I had Utah and Edmonton, so I was wrong about Anaheim, Vegas. I'll call it wrong on Minnesota, but I had the other, and then I was wrong on Philadelphia. So I went about 500 in the first round. The second round, I had Carolina, Buffalo, Colorado, and Vegas, and so I got 3 out of 4. I got 3 out of 4 in that. And then in round 3, the conferences, I had Carolina. I think I had Carolina in 6. I'm pretty sure I had Carolina in 6, didn't I? No, I had Carolina in 7. Yeah. Okay. I had Carolina in 7. Carolina took business 5. I had Colorado in 7. Vegas wiped them. So 50%. So it was 50% in the first round, 75 in the second, and 50 in the third. So round 4 just has one matchup. So it's all or nothing there. But let's take a look at round 3 real quick. We had Carolina, Montreal. Montreal did beat Carolina all 3 games in the regular season, twice in Carolina. Their wins in Carolina 7-5, 3-1, and then in Montreal 5-2. And the two of the games, one in Montreal, one in Carolina, were near the end of the season, March 24th, 29th. So it kind of seemed like that would be that would carry a little bit more. Turns out, Montreal came out of the gates and won the first game 6-2. After that, they had 2 overtime games, both 3-2, won by Carolina, first in Carolina, then in Montreal. Then Carolina won 4-0 in Montreal, and then 6-1 back in Carolina. A little bit of a surprise because I thought, Montreal, a really good road team. They showed it in the first game. But I guess their weakness at home. So they showed it in the first game, split the first 2, and then went on the road. And, Carolina kind of took those. Carolina not much on being scored on the road. Montreal not scoring much at home. And so that kind of gave the Montreal edge, games in Montreal to Carolina. And so then Carolina back at home took care of business. The thing that was kind of interesting for me was the game winner won the first period in every one of those games except the 2 that went to overtime. No. The game winner won the first period in all but the second game of the series, which was tied after the first period. Sorry about that. And then the game winner was also scored in the first period of those, except for the overtime games. Carolina did get the first goal in all of the games, and so that didn't pay off for them in the first game, but in the rest of them, it kind of did. So Carolina was able to score a lot early, and then in the first game, they scored first. Carolina scored first, and then Montreal came back and just overwhelmed Carolina in the first period, and the game was over. So most of these games, 2 went to overtime. So that was really kind of a surprise. Carolina being kind of an overwhelming force in the first period, which I've taken to heart, and you'll hear about that later. As far as Colorado and Vegas, I thought Colorado would have the scoring advantage. They beat Vegas 2 out of 3 in the regular season. The 2 games they won were earlier, October and December. And then in April, late in the season, Vegas did win in overtime 3-2 in Colorado. So maybe that should have been the biggest precursor. Vegas kind of, again, kind of overwhelmed things, but that was kind of a surprise. And then, what was it? I think the biggest thing was that Vegas is consistently throughout the playoffs shown that they can come back from being down from a deficit. Game 2, they got down 1-0. They won 4-1. Game 3, they were down 3-0 and won 5-3. And then in that series, once Vegas got the lead, they never gave it up. Vegas, once they, kind of like a pit bull, maybe, maybe pit bulls got a bad rap, but once they got the lead, they did not give it up. So that makes it kind of an interesting setup here between Carolina and Vegas. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll get back and we'll talk about that. All right, so Round 4, the Stanley Cup Finals. What do we know? Well, we know that Carolina has only lost one game total in 3 rounds. They beat Ottawa 4-0. They beat Philadelphia 4-0. They lost the first game to Montreal and Carolina, then went 4 in a row. So they are 12-1. 12-1. Let's see, at home, they have had 3 overtime games. The second game at home and all 3 series were overtime games, and Carolina won all 3 of those 3-2. So that's telling. In the first game, in the first 2 matchups, the other team didn't even score. So 2-0, 3-0. They did lose the first game to Montreal, so obviously Montreal, eliminated that and scored 6. On the road, similarly, well, the Carolina hasn't lost on the road yet. They've had 2 overtime games. Both of those also decided 3-2. And that was the second game against Philadelphia and the first game against Montreal. So if Carolina's going to overtime in this playoffs, it's going to be they're going to be 2-2 going to overtime. That's what that looks like to me. As far as Vegas was 4-2 against Utah, 4-2 against Anaheim, and 4-0 against Colorado. The interesting thing here is that Colorado had home ice. So Vegas was had the home ice advantage in the first 2 series. Carolina had the home ice advantage in all 3. Vegas has had to start off the series on the road, which Carolina has not had to do, won't get to do again. Carolina still has home ice, but Vegas has been in a situation where they didn't have home ice to start with, which is good because that's what they have. That's the scenario they have going into the NHL Finals. In that situation, they did sweep Colorado, which was really, really surprising. Well, I mean, Vegas, they were 2-1 in both home and away in the first 2 series. At home, they lost the second game. In the first 2 series, they lost the second game at home, which would have been the second game of the series. Against Colorado, they didn't. That would have been the game, that would be the series ending game. As far as on the road goes, they lost the first one against Utah, lost the second one against Anaheim. So they split the game, the first 2 at home and the first 2 on the road. As far as these teams meeting in the regular season, they met back in October, so toss that out. Vegas did win both, though. The first game being in Vegas, the second game being in Carolina, 4-1, 6-3. So there you go. Again, I took a look at things according to how it looked like in the regular season and then how they've been doing in the playoffs now. Granted, we've got a lot of games in the playoffs now, so we can really see how that stands up. In the regular season, I kind of would have, the goals. So looking at being in Carolina, looks like Carolina would have advantage in the first period and then Vegas in the third, which kind of seems to, that pattern seems to hold as far as the playoffs go. Vegas may be weak in the third period as far as goals against. Seems like it may be, except they have been a team that has been coming back, but that's on the road. And then a lot of good versus good that we're going to see in Carolina as far as just even as far as scoring goes anyway. As far as Carolina's goals against, kind of looks like Vancouver might have the advantage, or Vegas would have the advantage in the first period, but I don't really feel like that's the way things are going to play out. Just overall, I think Vegas gets a nod in the first. I think And that can't be right. No. It's got to be Carolina gets the nod in the first. Take a quick look down here once again. Yeah, Carolina at home, the second in in goals per game, 1.29. And then the Knights are 10th, though, in the first period, 0.63. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of good versus good. But it kind of, as far as scoring goes, it kind of feels to me like Carolina is another one of those teams that's going to come out big. I think Vegas can too, and it kind of depends on who's going to overwhelm. I think the first period's really going to set the tone for everything. Vegas can come back. I'm not sure that Carolina is that much of a comeback team. So we'll see how that plays out. I think when we get to Vegas, the teams are going to be pretty tough. The second period looked pretty boring, frankly, as far as Carolina goals for to Vegas's goals against. And then the first period, Carolina goals against to Vegas's goals for. The first period looked kind of boring. First, both teams not really, neither team really scoring a lot. The other team not giving up a lot of goals. So the third period, maybe in Vegas, I think the Western Conference teams tend to be a lot more defensive minded. So I think especially when they're in Vegas, I think those might be lower scoring games. The games in Carolina, higher scoring, seems like. As far as the power play, the special teams goes, didn't really look like there were a lot of penalties by either team in the regular season. I thought that the Vegas power play on the road would have the advantage, and then and that in Vegas it looked like the penalty kills that really the power plays wouldn't necessarily carry the game. So maybe Vegas would have a little bit of advantage on special teams as far as the regular season went. As far as in the playoffs, again, the penalty kills looked really good. It just the one notice of Vegas's power play at home, pretty good. Carolina's road penalty kill, pretty good. So I just don't feel like the games are going to be decided by special teams, not especially the power plays. I'm really expecting Carolina to get the lead early, and then Vegas coming back. If Vegas gets the lead early, if Vegas wins the first period, I think that might be it. I'm not sure Carolina has been much of a comeback team. Definitely haven't had to. Vegas has had to. And Vegas so far in the playoffs looks like a pit bull once they get the lead. So if Vegas gets the lead, I mean, they have not get the first goal, but win the first period. If they go to the first intermission, if Vegas goes to the first intermission winning, I think, stick a fork in it. But if Carolina goes winning, I think then we're going to have a game because Vegas is going to have the ability to come back. And the question is whether Carolina can match them, really. I mean, I know I'm here saying that the Western Conference teams are more defensive minded, and that's true. But they score goals too, and the Eastern Conference team doesn't play defense, but not as many of the Eastern Conference teams are really known for their defense. So looking, how did I think this was going to go? Okay, so. Carolina is 2-1 in their first games. I think they're going to win the opener. Carolina's second games at home were all overtime wins, right? I'll go back and take a look again here. All overtime wins, all 3-2. I don't think that's going to work against Vegas. I think Vegas is going to wind up taking the second game in Carolina. But the Vegas has a similar setup as far as how they have played their games too. So I think they're going to win their home opener, and then they've lost their second game at home in the games that they had home ice as well. So it kind of feels to me like they're going to alternate wins and losses. Like the Carolina's going to win the first game, and then Vegas will win the second game. Vegas will win the third game, which I guess is not really alternating, and then Carolina will win the fourth game. So that's kind of how I feel like it's going to go. So I think by the time we get done with the two home series, 2-game home series, we're going to be all knotted at 2-2. Each team will have won one at home and one on the road. I believe games 5 and 6 should be won by the home team. Probably not, though. I don't think this is going to go 7. I really don't. I've been predicting 7. I haven't gotten 7. I like 7. 7's fun. But I don't think... I have no idea why my Echo is talking to me. Or what just said. So anyway, I think it should go 7. I don't think it's going to go 7. The home teams should win games 5 and 6. Should win. But probably not. Obviously, if Carolina wins game 5 and then Carolina wins game 6, the series is over, given what I've said already. If Vegas wins game 5, which would be in Carolina, then I think they'll win game 6 at home. 5 and 6 is either won both by the home teams or it'll be won by the same team. I think if they go 7, I think it goes to Vegas. So I know it's kind of not a real strong prediction. It's like, well, either team could win in 6 games or Vegas wins in 7. So I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. That's the best I can come up with here this morning. And I think that's pretty good. I like this. I'm excited. I'm excited for the finals, and it'd be nice to be right. But we'll see. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Anyway, but that's what we've got. Yeah, the Stanley Cup Finals, Carolina versus Vegas. No Canada in any of these games. The game should start a little bit quicker. But yeah, the series are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday. So we'll play Tuesday, Thursday in Carolina. Then we'll have a couple-day break, Saturday, Tuesday in Vegas. Then Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday. So that's how we're going tonight, Tuesday night in Raleigh, Carolina versus Vegas. Stanley Cup Finals are here. Yep, almost the end of the season. Anyway, that's me. That's my podcast. Thanks for listening. I'm Preston Proctor, and you've been listening to Predators Proclivity.